guys, number 10 on this medieval torture list is the saw torture. What they would do is hang you upside down on this gateway looking thing and take a two-handed saw with two people and literally saw from your genitals to your abdomen or further. Most of the time it was just to your abdomen. I mean, that would be even more gruesome than all the way, but yeah, it was very painful, as you can see and tell. Number 9. Number 9 is the Iron Maiden. Unlike the band, this is for torture. It's looks like a stand-up coffin type thing. They would lock you in there, and there's spikes in there that when they close the door, the spikes would eventually puncture you, and you would bleed out to death most of the time. And it's a very confined space, so even that can go in a mental type of torture. Number 8. Alright, number 8 is the head crusher. What they would do is they would attach your head in here. Your jaw would go at this bottom bar, and your top of your head would go in the cap. And they would crank this screw type thing up here, and it would crush your head, the top of your head, into your jaw, and your teeth would shatter and crush into your jaw, and eventually you would die from your head being crushed. Number 7. Alright, number 7 is the Judas cradle. They strapped you in, usually it was in a corner, they strapped you in on, and you couldn't get away, and they would sit you on top nude on this triangle type thing, and over time, it took a while, over time it would start to impale you through the anus, and it would hurt a lot. Number 6. Number 6 is the breast ripper. What they did was they took these 4 prongs, it's pretty self-explanatory, they took these 4 prongs and they attached it to the breast, and it would go on and inside the breast, and the torturer would walk away and would rip your breast off, and if it didn't kill you, leave you with a nasty scar. Another version of this is called the Spanish spider, and it was used by the Spanish mostly, obviously. These prongs were actually attached to a wall, and the woman was attached to these, and the torturer would pull the woman back. That would make it even easier to rip the breast off the body. Number 5. Number 5 is the pear of anguish. This thing was nasty. It's a pear-shaped piece of metal with a crank that they would put into one of the orifices. You know what the orifice is. I don't want to get into detail, and they would crank this, and these 4 different parts would open up and eventually just tear and crush and rip everything. Number 4. Number 4 is the rack. The rack, you laid down on this table looking thing, and you were roped in with each leg and each arm, and the torturers would use these cranks, and after a while it would rip your limbs off, dismember you, or rip you in half, as you see in this picture. It was pretty gruesome, and it would really hurt to die like that. Number 3. Number 3 is an unknown one. It's called the crocodile tube, and this tube was only big enough to put a person in, and they would put the person in with these spikes that look like crocodile teeth. That's why it's called the crocodile tube, and it would slowly compress, and the spikes would go into you. Usually they also had a fire that would heat it up. It would cause more pain, and the face and the feet were the only thing the torturers could see, so usually what they did was mutilated the face and the toes, ripping off toes or mutilating the face in any way. Number 2. Number 2 is the breaking wheel. The person was strapped into this wheel thing on this platform you see, and the wheel was spun, and when it was spinning, the torturer with this big lead bat would just bash and break all the bones and the legs and the arms and the ribs and everything, and eventually you wouldn't die, but you would be put up on, sometimes you'd be put up on this pole thing and shown off to the world until you die. Number one. Number one is really gruesome, and I find it just really weird. What they did, it's called the rat torture. What they did was they put rats on your bare stomach and enclosed them in a box and put hot charcoals or coals on top of the box. The rat is looking for a way out because he doesn't want to burn alive. So what the rat would do is dig through your intestines and get out that way. Could you imagine a rat digging first through your skin and stomach and getting in your intestines and just crawling around in your innards? And you weren't dead after this. You could feel the rat inside of you, and it was pretty insane.